Have you ever stopped to think about a massive company? I mean, one with thousands of employees and operations all over the world, and wondered how it actually knows if it's healthy? It's not like it can just pop into the doctor's office for a checkup. Or can it? Well, in a way, it absolutely can, and that's exactly what we're going to get into.
Right? When you're juggling global supply chains, constantly changing regulations, and mountains of financial data, how do you even begin to check your own pulse? How do you really know if your core processes are actually working, if you're playing by the rules, or if you're protected from some huge unseen risk? That's the million-dollar question every big organization has to answer.
And the answer to that question? It's something called assurance services. You can think of this as the official diagnosis. It's the whole framework that organizations use to give themselves a thorough, professional-grade health screening.
Okay, so here's the textbook definition. Assurance services are these independent evaluations, a really deep dive by internal auditors, and they're all about building trust. They're there to make sure an organization's most important systems are firing on all cylinders. A simple way to think about it is, governance is kind of like the brain, setting the strategy. Risk management is the immune system, always on the lookout for threats. And controls, those are the reflexes that keep things from going off the rails.
So what's the whole point of this big corporate health check? It's all about making the organization stronger and more resilient. The real goal is to boost its value by making sure it's running like a well-oiled machine. It's following all the laws. It's handling risks before they blow up, and it's protecting its most valuable assets from being lost or misused.
Now, as you can imagine, a checkup this important needs a dedicated team. So let's meet the 3 key players you'll find in any assurance service. This is our corporate healthcare team, if you will.
First up, you have the process owner. Think of them as the patient. They're in charge of the specific department or activity that's under the microscope. Then, you've got the internal auditor. They're the doctor, the one who comes in to conduct the objective, unbiased assessment. And finally, you have the user. This could be senior leadership or the board of directors. They're kind of like the specialists who need those test results to make the big, crucial decisions about the organization's overall health.
And just like a good doctor has a whole toolkit of specialized tests, not just a stethoscope, internal auditors have a whole range of assurance services they can use, depending on what part of the organization needs a closer look. First, you've got compliance assurance. This one's pretty straightforward, at least on the surface. The main question here is, are we following the rules? This audit digs into whether the organization is sticking to all the relevant laws, regulations, and even its own internal policies. Next up is operational assurance. This is all about looking under the hood, at the engine room of the company. Are the day-to-day processes working not just effectively, but efficiently? This can cover everything from customer service workflows to fraud prevention. And in our digital world, wow, this one is absolutely critical. IT assurance. This audit examines the entire tech stack, all the computers, the networks, the cloud services, to make sure that all the company's information is secure, reliable, and has integrity. And get this, the scope of these checkups can be incredibly broad. An assurance engagement can look at almost any part of the organization you can think of, from how efficient operations are to how reliable the financial reports are, and it can even get into assessing something as complex as the company's ethical culture. It's a real top-to-bottom review. But these checkups aren't always a top-down thing where an auditor just shows up with a clipboard and starts pointing out problems. A more modern approach is emerging that actually turns it into a collaborative consultation, empowering the people who are on the ground every day to be part of the process. And this modern approach is called Controls Self-Assessment, or CSA for short. This is a real game changer because it's built on a simple but powerful idea. The employees who are actually doing the work are often the ones who best understand the real risks and controls. So what is it exactly? Well, CSA is a process that gets teams together to evaluate their own systems and controls. Those are the procedures and safeguards they use every single day. It's all about empowering them to be active participants in making those systems better, instead of just being inspected from the outside. I mean, just look at the difference here. A traditional audit is totally led by the auditor. They're the sole expert, and it's a top-down evaluation. But with CSA, the whole thing flips. It becomes a team-based, collaborative workshop. The auditor's role actually shifts from being the expert to being a facilitator, guiding the team to find its own solutions based on what they see every day. So why would you make this shift?
Well, the benefits are huge. When the people who actually use the controls have a say in them, those controls just work better, plain and simple. It makes everyone more aware of potential risks and creates a genuine sense of ownership and accountability within the team.
So let's bring it all home. When all is said and done, why does any of this really matter? Well, it all comes back to that first idea, getting a clean bill of health. It's about ensuring the long-term stability and success of the entire organization. And this quote really sums it all up perfectly. Assurance services provide valuable insights to help organizations improve and maintain their operations, ultimately leading to greater stability and sustainability. See, it's not just about finding problems, it's about building a stronger foundation for the future.
At the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Whether you're a shareholder, a customer, a regulator, or an employee, the whole point of assurance is to build real, profound trust and confidence that the organization is well managed, responsible, and truly built to last.
So I'll leave you with a final question to think about. Look at your own world, your job, your personal projects, maybe even your daily routines. What's one process that you rely on that could maybe use its own little health checkup?